Hi. All right. Um, Take a few minutes and tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a student at UT Austin. I'm a senior right now, and I'm studying environmental science with a focus in biology. I'm also doing a degree in geography. And during the summer, I was an RU intern through the Arizona State University at the Sala Lab, and I was at a field station called Jornada Experimental Range or Jornada LTER. I'm a UT microfarm project leader, and I'm also doing some research for my capstone. But other job experiences I've had in previous semesters is being a first year mentor for first year environmental science students. And yeah, I'm really interested in like ecohydrology, ecological restoration, conservation, and any other ways we can make combine science and social aspects to make our society better and improve our environment at the same time.
Oh, awesome. If you don't mind me asking, what's your capstone research on?
My capstone research is on looking at, well, comparing and contrasting how Quercus species, so oak species in different habitats, use their water. So I'm looking at the Texas live oak, the red oak in Michigan, the red oak in the Appalachian Mountains, if I can get data on that, and also the blue oaks that are in California, if I can get data on that. So I'm currently in the process of trying to acquire data for my research.
Awesome. That sounds super interesting. So, after you've graduated college, what would you consider your dream job and why?
I would say my dream job is to, I guess, combining both some aspects of like field research, hands-on opportunities in the outdoors, but also helping like manage some projects and doing a little bit more like planning to help make our communities better.
Awesome. That sounds like a great dream job. We need more people doing that kind of stuff. So kind of going off of that, what's your like 6 month, 1 year plan for the next 6 months or a year before you graduate or after you graduate?
I would say my 6 month plan is since I'm currently to my capstone, like successfully finish my capstone. Also, successfully finish my project leader job that I have right now. They'll end in spring semester.
Okay.
And then also in a little bit more long term, maybe in the fall, look into doing maybe a fall internship somewhere in the Austin community, maybe a nonprofit or actual like company for them, and also look at entry level and like seasonal positions that are available in Austin, but also in like different states around the U.S. But I'm also kind of considering AmeriCorps, but that depends on what kind of opportunities are there out there for that.
Yeah. Awesome. That sounds like a good plan. If you had to discuss what your weaknesses would be in a potential job, what would you consider your weaknesses?
I guess my weakness would be, I guess there's two, would be time management. Just balancing, well, right now it's like school, extracurriculars, work, and my research. And I've been trying to use a lot of like the Google Calendar and splitting up big projects and assignments I have into smaller chunks so I can do it throughout the week to make it a little better.
Mm-hmm.
The other one would be that I have a lot of ideas that I want to try out. So I feel like sometimes my energy is split into too many different categories and not into one or two specific ones that could be done, completed completed in a way that's uh, a good output instead of yeah something
Yeah.
like that.
I get what you're saying. So on the other hand, if you had to discuss your strengths in a potential future job, what would you think your strengths would be? Or your strengths in your current job now?
I would say my strengths is that I'm a good listener. I'm also, I would say, pretty patient on for just like listening and just like being with people and thinking about different ideas or alternative routes we can take for a certain idea or project. And I also really strive to keep like a really positive working atmosphere when I'm in a work environment.
Awesome. Kind of on the vein of work environments, is there a type of work environment you prefer or find most productive?
I would say a really collaborative and open work environment is really important to me, and knowing that the people you're with feel comfortable enough to ask questions, not feel afraid to ask questions when you need the help that you need. Um, and just having a really friendly atmosphere, I guess, encourages collaboration and just speeds up the process of any kind of project you're doing.
Okay, I agree. Let's see. How would you describe your management slash mentoring style? I know you said you were a project leader at Microfarm and have had some other jobs. I don't know if you've had to manage anyone there, but if you could just like give a example of like what your management style is now or what you think it would be, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I like the style of just one on one. So I really like meeting people face to face, one on one, and just learning about more about who they are, and just having, like I said before, giving like a really collaborative and open, friendly environment that they can also ask questions and giving them the like opportunity to pursue any kind of projects that they might have and go on run off with that idea. I think is really important.
It's awesome. Okay, last question before our fun question. Um, have you ever had to deal with a difficult situation with an employee or student or other kind of person that you've had to work with um, or supervise? And how did you work to resolve that? Or how did you make up for their failings? I don't know.
Uh, I guess I can't really think of one right now. I think for me, I tend to be try to compromise in any kind of situation. And I guess I don't try to think of that like a difficulty, but just more like we have different perspective and styles on how to handle things. So trying to bridge that and come into a friendly consensus is the way to go. Is the way I go.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good way to go about that kind of stuff, even though it's always really hard. Okay, so for the last one, it's the fun question. If you had to pick two people to have dinner with, dead or alive, who would they be and why? You can take a few seconds to think about it if you want.
People better alive.
It doesn't have to be the two people you'd most pick or something, just like two people.
Um, I guess I'm mad at this. I guess the first person that comes to mind is Jane Goodall, the classic person. I don't know,
Yeah.
environmental. Well, more like on she studies a lot of gorilla stuff, but just I feel like she's a really big figurehead in just the environmental and like conservation realm. That'd be
Mm-hmm.
really cool to meet her and see like her perspective on things. Since she probably has a good idea of what's happened like previously, like looking at how environmentalism has changed over the years.
Yeah.
Pretty cool person. Another person, um, I would say is
It doesn't have to be too serious.
I don't know. I'm bad with thinking about people. I guess I never really. I'm sorry.
You're good, you're good. It's just a fun question. Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe I'll say MLK
That's a good
because
one.
it's just maybe cool to learn how he was able to mobilize all the people
Oh, yeah.
for really and for a certain goal and making that happen. I think
Yep.
would be really cool.
Great answer. Good job.